This is a special episode. I am getting to have Michelle Salinas on my show. You may know her as Michelle Vargas, who was the CBS news anchor for KI CBS here in Austin several years ago. She is now in communications at St. David's Hospital, which is how we met her just recently, and we feel like we've known each other all our lives, but that's because of the God connection that we have. So I want you to stay tuned for what is coming up next. Previously on part 2 with my special guest, Michelle Salinas.
So if you have a newsroom of 15 people, only 2 of those people are getting that spot.
I didn't think about that.
And so I believe that the Lord allowed me to see favor in my dreams and goals because he knew I would not get exhausted until I met met your goal. So he made sure at the age of 23, here it is, Michelle, and I want you to see that you got there. Although you believe it's through your works, it's really through my anointing. And then I want you to sit there and feel what it feels to not have the true purpose of your life.
Wow.
And within 6 months of me being at the anchor desk, I said, I'm bored.
Oh my gosh.
I said, Lord, this is what I've prayed for?
Wow.
So I wonder how many people listening to this, and if this has happened to you, where you attain the goal that you have been praying for on your knees, and you're like, Father, I know, if you will just grant me this blessing, and then you attain it. He goes, okay, you want the carrot? Here it is.
Yeah.
And now that you have it, it's like, oh, this is it. It just totally flattened me out. But then it forced me to think in his image and to think in his identity.
Wow.
And not in what the world was trying to convince me that I was entitled to be an anchor. Now you are. Now what? So it is a very temporary way to look at things if you think about them from the spectacle of your dreams and your goals. If they don't have eternal legacy,
Come on.
if they don't have a timeline, like they say that it goes on and on and on and it never stops, then it's not a big goal. It's not a God thing.
And now on today's episode, part 3. So let me ask you this. Do you see now that in the purposes of God, of who he is, he's really our purpose, he's our destiny, it's in and through him that we live and breathe, right?
Yeah.
So can you say now though that with that revelation that you have, that no matter where you are, you can live out his purpose in whatever role it is? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That's so beautiful how you just said that, because after TV life, I recognized that I was tired. It wasn't physical tired because I was 23 years old. I was recently married. I didn't have children keeping me up at night. So I had all the life in me that you would say, right?
Yeah.
This girl has tons of life left to live out her dream and be a morning news anchor and whatever and wake up at 2 a.m. But it was how I think when you become keen to what God has in store for you and you start to nibble at it and you go, okay, so maybe you do have a different will. What could that be? And you start to kind of learn more about it. You recognize how many gaps there are in your current situation, where you believe you're sitting on favor, but you're really just sitting on fake lies, materialism, emptiness.
That's so good.
Right?
Yes.
It's almost like you sit on top of a pedestal and then it just squashes and you hit the floor really hard. So then you start to have to gain him to make up for the gap that you just dropped yourself from the pedestal. So as I continue to crawl up and recognize that he had something greater in store, now it doesn't matter what I do.
Right.
I could go serve coffee.
Come on.
I mean, I haven't, but I could.
Yes.
Because
and
now
you be fulfilled because you're in him. And you know that everything you're doing is for him now.
Yes. Or things that before I would unfortunately, we're flawed.
Yeah.
Back in the day when I started as an anchor, I'm sure if I had been in today's world, I would have said, what do you mean I have to go edit and record my own stuff?
You did?
Yeah, I did.
I did not know that.
I did my own makeup, hair.
Wow.
Bought my own clothes. They give you a very small stipend that goes very quick because you know how expensive things are. And every day you're wearing a new outfit and jewelry and things. And so very quickly what looked, and here's a feel word that God is giving me. When it looks so distant, you chase further and faster for it to gain it.
Wow.
But when you reach it, it's like the closer you have the blessing in front of you, or what you think is your blessing,
right,
the more you can see the cracks and the ugly and the things that are missing.
That's good.
When it's far away, it looks beautiful.
Yeah, it does.
Maybe that's why 20/20 vision is important.
Yes, that's right. It's so true.
So the closer I got to seeing that, and this does not mean that people in the industry are not beautiful and light giving and they are there for a reason.
Right.
I've also had to learn that in my walk, and that authority is there for a reason.
Yes.
Respect authority.
Yeah, that's good.
Understand that God put that person in that role for a reason, and respect the fact that if this is God's will, his way.
Yeah.
I have had to learn that too. Because the higher you go up this ladder, this hierarchy, or whatever you want to call it, then you recognize like, oh, I have a little bit of a say now. But then you scoot closer to the people that also are kind of at eye level with you in that space of your life.
Yeah.
And you start going, okay, so this is really just about you. So you're just committing yourself to your goals, or the money, or the whatever, and there is no fruits, as we know. There is no fruits that you're gonna reap out of having these idols.
Wow. That's so powerful. So, my next question.
What is it? You're smiling. It's gonna be a hard one.
When are you starting your podcast? Did you know that was coming, or
No,
did you not?
I didn't.
When are you starting your podcast?
When are we starting my podcast? Before the end of the year.
Okay.
That is my deadline.
To be continued. Stay tuned to part 4. Okay.
Now, very TMI or just explicit is I'm literally learning about the process thanks to you.
Oh my gosh.
If I start my podcast, here it is. It's fully because this woman came into my life.
No.
Well, through you, I am getting...
Let me just say this. Thank you all so much for joining me and Michelle. You can follow Michelle on her Instagram at the Michelle Vargas.
Yes.
Is that right?
You got it.
Awesome. And Michelle Vargas was your CBS name,
and
right?
my maiden name.
Your maiden name. Okay, awesome. So thank you guys again. God bless you.